My name's Calvin Waite, and I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a living. Dono, and we are on a weekly time frame. So every bar is 1 week, and I've essentially drawn a couple of major trend lines for the entire history of Cardano. Essentially, this top and this top have created our downward pressure, and this has lasted for a couple of years. End of last year, we finally broke above this. Our support has been also declining, so this declining wedge was about to resolve. Obviously, zero is the baseline, so we can't go down forever unless the project completely goes up, which I did not believe that would happen. So let's go to the daily and see if we can look at some of the history and see what we should be thinking about from a trading standpoint. I'll zoom out a bit. Let's go back all the way to the beginning. All right. So now I'm going to add a little bit of color so we can see what happened. This was too early to see what was really going on with the trend, but here we entered our first red band, and it was a little choppy, but then we got into a solid downward red band situation. Once we exited this red band, this actually became a pretty sweet situation, touching our high up here. Of course, you never know where the high is, so you exit at the end of the green band. But even this trade alone would have been a 60% gain. So let's keep looking. So now we dropped out. We made a lower low right here and entered another red zone. So I went ahead and made the trade right here. When we exited this red band here, I went ahead and bought some. And it's interesting because even a professional long-term trader, there are some emotions that you have to deal with. I wasn't afraid to take the trade, but I was afraid to take a large position. So even though everything makes sense, it's still a little hard. I only bought maybe 1.5 Bitcoin or something right here. And so placing that entrance, we wait and we watch and see what happens. In this situation, we did cross that downward declining resistance, but obviously the price didn't move a lot. So it took a little bit of patience. In this case, we exited the red here, and then this move propelled us upward a little bit. But see, I didn't take profits here because entering at 485 and exiting 587, I'm not interested in a 10 or 20% gain. This didn't feel big enough for me, so I waited. And good thing I did, because now, present day, we have definitely entered a new solid green band. The exit is supposed to be at the end of the green band, but in my case, because of the history, where we had essentially this big crazy part here was pure emotion, and a lot of traders are looking at what happens after the emotional traders leave and exit the system. So there are a couple of things to look at. I was looking at this top, but because we've declined for so long, this top will take a little bit of patience to get there. So I looked at this as being a great place to exit. When we hit the top of this, we were right in the middle of it. And I did exit my position around 1350 or thereabouts. So if I can get about 3x on my investment. Even if it keeps going, I'm not going to go home crying. But you have to think about what to do when something crazy is on the news, when everyone's screaming about it, when everyone's very enthusiastic. As a trader, you have to think the opposite of what the herd is doing. I have no doubt that I may have left some money on the table, but in my mind, it is when I've tripled my investment, I'm not going to be upset about it. There's, still some room to run, but where we've overcome this significant move and we've put in a decent percent, that's when I pack my bags and go home. So hopefully that helps you learn something. But our Cardano, it is a very interesting project and they're doing some great things, but from a purely trading perspective, it's one that I would not be entering right now. I would be looking for an exit. Some may think that I exited a little too early right here, but I also, I'd rather make 50% of what I could and take profits than miss the boat completely and wait more than a year and have nothing to show for it. So anyway, I hope everyone has a good day and we'll see you in the next one.